today's edition of Back Roads of Illinois. We were bringing you elastic for farming sources and information sponsored by AgriGold. We were talking about new company at the farm, Progress, in Decatur with spray tech for your weeds control in the field. I'm joining with Nathan Ihnen from Spray Tech and Shawn and Kevin Kalb in Decatur. We were talking about spray tech for weeds control in the Decatur on the Field podcast.
We sweat, it's hot, so it is such a nice change today and seeing everybody out in the great weather. But it's been a great show so far. We love it. We're getting to see a lot of farmers from around the United States, but we're also getting to see a lot of farmers from around the world, and that's pretty cool about this farm show here. So overall, we're having a great day.
Great to have you on today.
Oh, thank you so much, and it's great to be here. It's good to see you again, Caesar. I haven't seen you in a long time, and it is good to see you again, my friend.
Sure. Nate, let's discuss about your company. Could you tell us about your company?
Absolutely. So Spray Tech is a two-part company. So our first part is application technology, and that would be where our all-in-one low-use adjuvant comes in. Now, Caesar, we are the pioneer of the low-use adjuvant, so that is a big thing for us. So that's the first part. The second part of our company is plant health and nutrition. So we're very big on feeding the plant and getting plant nutrition absorbed in, and we're huge on stress mitigation. We use amino acids, carboxylic acid, and we also use some phosphite as well.
What do you have any recommendations on your product?
So a lot of it, I tell you, when farmers start with us, Caesar, what they do a lot of times is they start with the adjuvant. And here's why. When we spray a field, what do we spray mostly out there? It's water, right? So we use water. And then our big thing is, Caesar, is we want to take that pH and drop it down so everything works good. So if you're looking at a herbicide pass, a foliar feeding pass, what we want to do is drop that pH. And that's just one part of what we do. But if I had a recommendation, if you were looking at Spray Tech products and if you spray in your field, I would start off with our adjuvant. The second product I would look at if I was working with us, I would look at our product called Full Tech Cube. And it's excellent for plant defense. It works like a fungicide and a bactericide, so it works on both fungus and bacteria, but it also pairs well with fungicide, and it takes the fungicide into the plant systemic. So it works good as both.
Yeah. Could you explain to our audience that how to work with the customers like with the Kalb family?
Oh, absolutely. So I'm fortunate. After you and I met, do you remember when we met 4 or 5 years ago, Caesar?
Yeah.
Yeah, I do too. And we met. So I actually got to start working with Corn Warriors and the Podfather, and I got to meet a lot of high-yield farmers that I'd known already, and we got a chance to go down some different roads and learn about high-yield corn and get to see a bunch of different parts of the country. That was my favorite part, is getting to travel.
Hey, how are you? Oh, you're fine.
What do you have any updates with your
company? Yep. So I do have some updates with the company, so it's interesting. So the company originally started in Argentina, and about 10 years ago came to the United States. We started doing business 7-8 years ago here, But what's interesting is we're moving the world headquarters to Des Moines, Iowa. So we're moving the headquarters to Des Moines, Iowa, and we're pretty excited about that. We've been doing business in the USA for 8-10 years now, but we want to stick our flag here, and all the products will be made here, and everything will be made here in the U.S.
He's failing again. Having trouble with the computer? Yes. Ready? Yeah. Tell me yes or no, please.
Nate, do people want to have more information on Spray Tech, where people can find you for your consulting services for their fungicides recommendation?
Oh, absolutely. So where you can find us, and if you want to find out some more information, I'd go to spraytech.com. I'll tell you what, another good place to go, it would be like Facebook, TikTok, I'd say YouTube. You can look us up there, and we put out a lot of stuff on how we work. Now, did you ask for a recommendation with fungicide, what you would do? Is that what you were asking too? I got you. So if you're heading out to your field right now and you're looking at a late season fungicide pass, what I would do, I'd run that fungicide you're running, and then I'd run some cube in there too, because copper's a good way to help protect your plant. And so I'm a big proponent of that. But if you run cube with your fungicide, like we talked before, we're going to take that fungicide, we're going to get into the plant, and then we're going to take it down into the roots. Because a lot of times fungicide, when you spray it, hits the lowest leaf and only has upward movement. So if we spray that plant and you use that Full Tech cube, we'll take that fungicide down in. Now hear me out. In your area, there's a lot of guys that don't know if they believe in fungicide or not. So what I'll tell you is, with cube, if you don't believe in fungicide, you still get a nutritional pack and some stress mitigation. So either way, you're going to see a benefit there. But that would be my recommendation.
Thanks for today in Decatur at the Farm Progress Show.
Absolutely. And Caesar, I do have to say it's good to see you again. It's been a long time, and I'm glad we got to run in together with the Kalb family and myself. It's kind of funny. Shortly after you and I talked the first time, I got to spend a lot of time with the Kalb family in southern Indiana. So it's a very good time. Even spent a 4th of July down there. That was a pretty good time.
Yes. You need to come visit us.
Yes.
I'm with Nathan Ihnen from Spray Tech and Shawn and Kevin Kalb in Decatur for the Farm Progress Show.
Man, and just the excitement of when they're doing all of the tally, the what do you want to call it?
Tallying up the
the equation and stuff, and seeing what our end result is, and then waiting until December to find out how we compete with somebody else. So that's what I like.
What is your thoughts about regenerative agriculture? However, the viewers might think that you are using chemical and pesticides use on the show.
So regenerative ag is what agriculture is turning into. It's a very hot topic, across not just agriculture, but even to the people that we supply food to. So we're adapting some practices on our farm every year to help be more regenerative. We're cutting down more and more on our tillage as far as our hills. So I think it's something not only to help sustain, I guess that's the word I'm looking for, our ground and our, our livelihood. But, it's to give comfort to the end users that, farmers are and do care about the environment. And, we do try to do the best practices that we can to grow the most amount of food on not only the least amount of inputs, but the least amount of um, disruptive, I guess, or damage or problems that we can, you know, oh, what's the word? Um, we're just not out, throwing a bunch of fertilizer out, polluting and having running off. We kind of pride ourselves on our farm that for us attaining our yields, we're really efficient with the use of fertilizers. We're down to about a half a pound or below a half a pound per bushel uh, of nitrogen to produce a bushel of corn, which is way below um, the industry average. So it has taken us a lot of years of fine tuning our practices, but less is more what we're seeing, on our inputs. So we're actually seeing, with the tissue samples, we're finding the balance of each nutrient in that plant to be the most efficient that it can be, and we're finding out a lot less fertilizer normally means better yields. So it's a win-win.
And spend less money.
Yeah.
What is your thoughts about cover crop over the winter months?
So yeah, we're not super big on cover crops, and I mean we do run cover crops on our hills to help to keep the washing away, so that the erosion. But with us being in we farm a lot of river bottoms. We can be our river bottoms can be underwater for 2 months at a time, depending on how full the lake is up above us. If they got to discharge a lot of water to bring the level down. So I think it's a good thing. I think for the environment that we're in, it's a little tougher to manage just because of the river bottoms and the flooding. But I think cover crops is definitely a good thing for farmers, especially if you're able to do it. If you're in the right environment, I'm 100% for cover crops.
Yeah. As long as we can get a good kill early before they get too big, but that's not always the case.
Do you have any final thoughts?
Oh, I got a lot of thoughts, but I don't know how good they are.
I think our final thoughts, really, if you're a farmer and it's struggling times that you have, reach out to another farmer and talk. It's just been a crappy couple months with no rain, and call the other farmer up, your friend, and complain to them and not your wife.
I think we're getting ready to go through some tougher times with in the agriculture industry right now. We're seeing the telltale signs, with the lower commodity prices. But there's things that we can do as farmers. Cut a lot of the wasteful spendings. As far as growing the crops, there's a lot of things that we can do by not what I should say by cutting your fertility, but there's practices that farmers can do. Just for example, you could go from broadcasting your fertilizer to banning all your fertilizer. That'll help cut down on prices. You know, we're kind of right here in Du Bois, Indiana. You know, it's just not the low prices and the drought we're dealing with. You know, we're dealing with the tar spot. You know, that's been a big disease, you know, been talked about the last 3 or 4 years. And, you know, and here's our 2 cents, way we feel about it. You know, it's come in really bad. We've sprayed some corn 3 times now since tassel. But you know, yes, and it is expensive to spray a fungicide on it, but you know, you're kind of you're not trying to make more bushels because the potential is there. You're trying to save the potential that you have. And, you know, considering how much money you have stuck up into the crop already, we just kind of feel like on our farm and our philosophy is I would really hate to miss out on the last 30 or 40, you know, bushel, knowing that I'm able to prevent that by applying another shot of fungicide. So sometimes the old motto is true. It takes money to make money, and that's kind of what we're banking on. That you know, we're going to spend some more money trying to keep this crop alive and keep the disease down, just so when we go into harvest, knowing that you know we did about everything we can to at least protect the crop, at least from a disease. You know, the drought we can't really control, but the diseases we can. So I think farmers need to really start thinking about stuff like that. You're trying to save and protect the bushels that you've grown. And that's something, you know, it's pretty tough to do with the markets going down, but I think that would be a good thing to do. Go ahead and spend the money if you're dealing with some diseases there. You know, go ahead and keep it healthy as long as you can.
Yes, I agree with you, Shawn. Thanks, you guys. It's been my pleasure to meet you guys.
You too, Caesar.
Thank you, Caesar. Appreciate it.
This is Kevin and Shawn Kalb from Southern Indiana on back roads of Illinois.
Take care.